I've proven to you guys before that you don't need bread or even keto bread to make a sandwich. Well, I found some more creative and crazy ways to make a sandwich without using bread.
You could be eating a bacon, liver, and testicle sandwich.
I'm not that crazy. First is a wrap that's made out of lunch meat. You may have already made this before or a variation of it, but this is a version that I enjoy. Take your favorite deli meat, and I'm gonna use turkey. You're gonna need 2 slices. Then layer on some cheese, bell pepper, onion, lettuce, and mayo. And there are sugar-free, preservative-free lunch meats out there, and if you need some ideas, I already did a whole video on this and I'll have it linked down below. Then roll it up, and you could secure it with a toothpick if needed, especially if you're gonna pack these in your lunch. These are easy and surprisingly filling with that combination of meat, cheese, and veggies. Next is an Italian sandwich, but instead of using focaccia bread or a ciabatta roll, we're gonna be using mozzarella cheese as our bread. Sliced mozzarella cheese from those cheese balls is what works best. You can pat them dry before assembling, and then add your favorite Italian meats like ham, salami, pepperoni. And for some crunch, I like to throw in some cucumber on my sandwich. Even though the combination of the meats and mozzarella cheese have Italian flavor, I want to give it some ultimate kick in that flavor by soaking my cucumber in some Italian dressing. And this is the one that I'm using. These cute little sandwiches would also make a fun appetizer for a party. Now for a carnivore sandwich, for those of you following a carnivore or ketovore lifestyle. And no, it's not the liver and testicle sandwich. This one is gonna be way more palatable. To make the carnivore bread, add 1 egg, a 1/2 cup of pork panko, which is just ground up pork rinds, a 1/3 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese, and a pinch of salt. We're gonna mix that up. To bake this carnivore bread, we use a waffle maker. This waffle maker was one of Chalk Zero's limited releases that just so happened to feature my keto chaffle recipe on the box. And this smaller waffle maker works perfectly because you can usually get 2 waffles from the batter. And no need to grease your waffle plate here. There's enough fat that gets released from the cooking to prevent the waffle from sticking to the plate. If you were to open up now, it would probably stick, so just close it and wait for another 2 to 3 minutes. To finish this sandwich, you could add an egg, bacon. I'm using sliced cheese that I par-cooked on parchment paper in the microwave. There might be a tiny bit of carbs in here from the shredded mozzarella cheese and the egg, but really it's gonna fit in your macros because it's practically 0 carbs. Keeping our waffle maker out, let's make a pizza sandwich. To your waffle maker, add a handful of shredded mozzarella cheese, then fill in your favorite pizza toppings, pepperoni. I like olives and canned mushrooms. They're my favorite kind of mushroom, don't judge me. Then top with more shredded cheese and close it down to cook. Again, let it cook for 2 to 3 minutes. These waffle makers are a must-have to anyone on a keto diet. I have like 8 of them, maybe 9. You can make all kinds of flavored waffles with them, and I have a bunch of recipes on my website, KetoFocus.com. The cheese gets pretty hard on the outside, perfect if you like crunchy crust. And some of it is still melty in the inside. I've actually probably let this one cook a little bit too long, but you get the idea. While I have the waffle maker out, let's do one more. This chip sandwich sounds really interesting. I don't have Flamin' Hot Ruffles because they aren't keto, and I also don't have one of those like cast iron pie makers. So we're gonna use the waffle maker and some Quest chips. And these are ranch flavored, not Flamin' Hot. I've shredded some cheddar cheese, add a handful of that to the waffle maker, and then open up the bag of chips and add some on there. Then top with more cheese. I wasn't sure if this was gonna close, but as soon as the cheese started melting, it did. Although the cheese melted out of the waffle maker and it got all over the counter, it was a big mess, and I tried to clean it up using a spatula to throw that cheese back in there, but that wasn't working. Once I felt enough of the cheese had spilled out, I used the chewy spatula to help me get this sandwich off the waffle maker. Now for an epic cheese pull. It's not as good as the one I saw on TikTok, but it might have had something to do with the fact that I didn't have Flamin' Hot Ruffles. One of my favorite sandwiches is a club sandwich. Luckily, it's easy to make a keto club sandwich with all the fixings without using bread. Instead, we're gonna use iceberg lettuce. You'll need 6 large pieces of iceberg lettuce. Start by laying down 2, then add mayo and spread that on. A typical club sandwich has turkey and ham, so 2 slices of each, then some cheese, another 2 slices of iceberg lettuce for our middle bread layer, more lunch meat, tomato, and of course the bacon. Top with 2 more pieces of lettuce, then secure the corners with a toothpick to prevent everything from falling out. Then I make 2 cuts. You could also take off the excess lettuce around the edges just to make it look prettier. These club sandwiches would be perfect for a party, or you can pack them in your lunch easily too. This sandwich definitely satisfies those club sandwich cravings. Next is a mushroom sandwich, but we're gonna be using portobello mushroom as our bread. Cut off the stem and brush with olive oil. Sprinkle on some salt to season it, and then layer on some of that sliced mozzarella cheese. I air fried mine. You can air fry at 380 degrees for around 5 to 8 minutes, or you can bake it in the oven at probably around 425 degrees for 5 to 10 minutes. After the cheese is melted, top it with some sliced tomato and some fresh pieces of basil. Definitely have some paper towels ready because this one is messy because all of that moisture gets released from the mushroom. Maybe I shouldn't have added salt to the mushroom. I don't know. If there's like a tip that you guys have for cooking portobello mushrooms that isn't gonna release all this moisture and get all over the place, let me know. Either way, these were delicious and a unique way to have a sandwich. Not quite as good as the club sandwich, but better than the bell pepper sandwich. And if you want to see how to make the bell pepper sandwich along with 7 other unique keto sandwich recipes that don't require bread, just click right here.